know, people just wanted to do a video on over cryptocurrency and looking at some other interesting things that I had noticed. Last time I did a video I did update on BTC and crypto. I was stating, on the 4 hour, there was a potential inverse head and shoulders forming. Um, and you see, we broke the neckline and I stated that we'd probably make new highs, which we did. But unfortunately, with those new highs, you go to daily, you see I have these peaks marked off. The reason I do is every time we've made a new peak on our side, we have made lower levels on our side. So we are getting developed bearish divergence, triple RSI bearish divergence on the daily. And on the MACD, we're developing bearish divergence on the MACD daily, losing momentum. If we continue losing momentum, this is not good as far as the bullish, argument goes. Starting to lose, the momentum on this RSI. It's not looking too great for the bulls right now. Just from the short term, there's been a lot of bullish sentiment because of the stimulus and just the nature of the run. Most people are bullish, and that's the reason why I focus more on the charts, not on the sentiment and on narratives. And one of those narratives that I was looking at and what I wanted to address also in this video is, we have had, well, the Federal Reserve has printed a lot of money. But the issue is those funds haven't really gotten into and it hasn't really been moving in the economy. This is the currency in circulations, M2. You can see starting, this is just, starting from the pandemic, we just have gone even higher, almost, 100% more. It's been printed, well, actually not 100% more, but, maybe like 20% more. It's been printed as far as money, but the problem is, and what most people don't mention when they're talking about inflation, is you need the velocity of money also to be peaking, also to be in an uptrend. And unfortunately, if you look at this chart, the velocity has you're near all-time lows. So there's a whole debate whether we're going to have inflation or deflation. Right now, you're still in a deflationary. There is inflation because you inflation in the money supply, but the money velocity hasn't caught up to all these dollars printed. So basically, what is happening is a lot of these dollars that are printed aren't going out to the general public. And so, though you do see inflation in like oil and your food and commodities, you're not seeing what the narrative going around in the cryptocurrency community, like, oh, the dollar's dead and there's just so many dollars, but there's so many dollars in the system, but they're just not moving. It's just not moving around. So that's one of those narratives, and why I'm always, speaking out against trading narratives, because you can lose a lot of money just believing in what people are spewing. Looking this at the chart. Let's go to the monthly. Scroll out more. And you can see, maybe soon you'll start to pivot, and then you'll start to see more, the inflation wreak havoc more. But that's not going to be, a positive thing. I know a lot of people are, like I said, running with this narrative, and they think this is going to be great for them for their, the assets they hold, and that could be true depending on, what the Fed does, whether they, higher their short-term interest rates, or they don't. Um, that will be discussed this Wednesday. That's something to take note of. That Wednesday the Fed meets, and if there is a discussion of what they're going to do about the 10-year treasury, the 10-year note rising, if they come out with some type of plan, like I think the old plan was called what was it called? It was something, I can't remember the term they call it, but basically is when they sell the 2-year note to about the 10-year note. If you hear any rumors or any murmuring about that, then you could, see your asset prices still rise. If there's no discussion of that, or if they say they're just going to allow interest rates to rise on their own, like by the market, I think there might be a flight to the dollar, um, and the more, unspeculative assets. It's just, you looking at these charts and looking at like commodities, and looking at, cryptocurrencies. I could see us going into a correction. Um, I know, like I said, that the narrative is, the dollar is done, but we had that bullish divergence on a weekly, and we're still, playing that out. We're not even near, overbought on the RSI, just getting to neutral territory. I mean, this could take months to play out. Um, so, you just got to be wary. You just got to take note of, the dollar and all these other assets that, have an effect on cryptocurrency. If you're still, a mega bull on Bitcoin. Let's look at the US 10-year note real quick. Look at this today. And we're not in log. Put in log. Right now we're just pausing at, there's resistance to the left. We break this peak, I think you're going to see a serious correction in equities and in crypto and, your commodities. But that really all depends on what the Fed does. So these are just things you should, be take note about, and definitely pay attention to. This this bearish divergence on the daily doesn't look great at all, and I got the wrong chart. Go to this Heather pair. But this doesn't look great. This doesn't look like, this is not usually areas where you will be entering longs. This is where you either retake a profit or, not financial advice, but you will be taking profit or you will be shorting when you see, signals like this. Right now, that would just be cautious. Really see how this plays out. You really don't want to close below the prior high at 57,400. Basically, you close below that. Your next real support is that previous low around 44,000, around like 45,000. You break that, you come to this white line, it's 40,000. You break that as 30. I mean, I'm not saying that is, where we're going, but I haven't seen this type of divergence on a daily in a long time. I think the last time I saw this was like in 2019, maybe in the summer of 2019, June 26th, I believe. 2019. We can go back to that time frame. I don't even think there was like triple, bearish divergence then. Let's 86, 29. Oh, 9. No, I actually got the date wrong. Scroll down. Let me hide this real quick. Area I'm talking about is in here. Yeah, we didn't even have, you had a close, but you had a higher peak. And then, I mean, you could see like we had a higher peak and then a lower peak, but a higher high. And you had these peaks, peak, but your RSI was lower. And you then created a descending triangle, which you broke down, and then you had your March lows in 2020, and then you had this epic run. I mean, a correction would be like, and what a lot of people don't understand is, you know, when you get these type of runs, you want corrections, you want, you know, periods of like, you know, a few months of this consolidation. So maybe we'll get that now. Hopefully we, you know, if we do get a sell-off, we just get a sell-off to, you know, the prior lows, or maybe just to this prior peak and consolidate, and then, you know, run further, or maybe we go test 30,000 again. But that will be evident in time, or, you know, whether we do that or not. But like I said, right now, this is not bullish at all. This looks, you know, like at the very least, we're getting a correction that's coming. But maybe, you know, some fundamental news comes, and maybe another company buys Bitcoin or something like that, and changes its course, which is always possible. But without that, I don't think correction is definitely coming. I also want to look at Ethereum real quick before I sign off, because I heard some fundamental issues that were happening. I believe that early in, well, I don't believe, it's been stated that in July that that Ethereum is getting an upgrade. Their gas fees issue will be somewhat addressed with I believe there's a different protocol that's being implemented into Ethereum on its blockchain that has some miners of Ethereum mad, and they are planning a attempted 51% attack in early April. I think it's April 1st. I know, just looking at it technically, I can delete some of this stuff. It's technically, if you fail to make a higher high here, just looking at it on your MACD, you're getting hidden bearish divergence on the daily. So you got the high, and then you got a lower high, but your MACD is actually, you got more, you know, positive momentum that's hidden bearish divergence on the daily. That's not good. You've been in this, you know, channel basically since, you know, January. And if you break out of this, you know, you broke out of it and got back in. But if you barely break out of it, I mean, you could be seeing, you know, $1,000 again, potentially, if you break it below the 1440 all-time high. But, you know, these are just things you want to take note of. Just to recap again, Bitcoin has, you know, bearish divergence on the daily, triple RSI bearish divergence. Me personally, at this, I wouldn't be shocked to see a correction, and, you know, coming down to 30,000 might seem crazy, but that's a 50% correction. That would be pretty normal. And these type of runs like this, even only weekly, I forgot to mention, looking at the RSI, you keep getting higher highs, but you're getting lower amounts of, your RSI every time. So you're getting triple RSI, bearish divergence on your RSI. It would be, to me, I mean, not even to me, just technically, it would be normal to get a sell off and you test prior supports. So just be wary of that. Don't just run with people's narratives of, oh, well, they're printing out this money, so that means Bitcoin has to run up. Like I said, you gotta understand that the velocity of money right now is not really moving. So, until next time, peace.